everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040, bringing to you another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. And today I wanted to discuss with all of you about an interesting development that took place on the September 19th, 2025 edition of SmackDown involving Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Now, as we know already, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman have a very long history together, going all the way back to Brock Lesnar's WWE debut in 2002. And these two have been together on and off for over two plus decades. But in more recent years, Paul Heyman has represented a number of different wrestlers, guys such as CM Punk. He was the wise man for Roman Reigns during his tribal chief run as head of the table for the bloodline. And he is now currently representing Seth Rollins as the Oracle for the Vision. I still can't say that with a straight face. So Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman ran into each other backstage, and Paul Heyman had an evil smirk on his face, and Brock Lesnar just pretty much went up to Paul Heyman and said, "We need to talk." So, what's going on there? Now, is it possible Brock Lesnar could join the Vision as the fifth man? Realistically, in all honesty, I cannot see someone like Brock Lesnar joining a faction like the Vision and playing second fiddle and taking orders from Seth Rollins, especially with the history they've got, which is well documented. There is another possibility. Maybe Brock Lesnar does a favor for Paul Heyman. Maybe he gets involved in the tag match with the Usos against Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Maybe he helps them pick up the victory. Who knows? Or maybe it's something to do with Survivor Series War Games, perhaps. Maybe there's another scenario. Maybe Paul Heyman helps Brock Lesnar defeat John Cena. And we know when Paul Heyman is in the corner of Brock Lesnar is times before. So there is that scenario. Or could Paul Heyman be planning to turn on Seth Rollins? Now, it's been well documented that Brock Lesnar has been stabbed in the back quite a few times by Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman has a history of turning on his men. He's turned on CM Punk. He's turned on Roman Reigns. So, this guy cannot be trusted. But who knows? But I definitely think it could be something to do with War Games, perhaps. Maybe Paul Heyman asks him, when it's time for War Games, can I rely on you to be there? Who knows, really? But could we see a reunion between these two? I wouldn't outrule it. Especially, it could be Brock Lesnar's last run because I think Brock Lesnar's 48. He's a couple of years away from 50. So it's very hard to say how much gas Brock Lesnar has in his tank. I mean, seeing him on SmackDown, he looks better than ever. He looks like a legit monster, like he always does. So it's very hard to say how long this run for Brock Lesnar is going to last, but I can definitely see some form of a reunion down the line. But we'll have to see, really. But this, for me, was probably the only interesting thing about SmackDown. And that doesn't really say a lot for the whole show when a little few second exchange is the most interesting thing about the entire show. That's good, but it's not, if you know what I mean. But it was great to see these two bump into each other again. Where's it going to head? Who knows, really, but I'm very interested to see where this heads to. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see what takes place at WrestlePalooza Even I can't say that with a straight face either. That's probably even worse than the Vision, not the Marvel character, by the way. So anyway, that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What was your thoughts on this little brief interaction between Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman on SmackDown? Do you think this could lead to a reunion? Do you think Paul Heyman is setting up to turn on Seth Rollins? Could Brock Lesnar be joining the Vision? Or is there something else? Could it be to do with Survivor Series War Games, perhaps? Or could it be something entirely different? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.